What's going on, 504 Tactical family? How's everybody doing today? I hope y'all are well. I hope your families are safe. Y'all please be praying for the people in California. You know, California, they're not exactly up to date with correct law, correct jurisprudence, not in any way, but it's not the citizens' faults that their lands and their homes are burning. You can thank the corrupt government for that. So, y'all please be praying for those folks. They need all the help that they can get. So, today I just want to cover a national survey that I saw on AmmoLand a couple days ago. And it says, national survey shows overwhelming support for mandatory gun safety education laws. All right. In a recent article discussing mandatory gun ownership in Kennesaw, Georgia, AmmoLand News ran a related reader survey, and the results are back. The survey revealed strong support among respondents for mandatory gun ownership laws. Yet, even more respondents championed the cause for mandatory gun safety education, emphasizing a Second Amendment community committed not only to gun rights, but also to education and responsible gun handling. AmmoLand News Survey. Your thoughts on mandatory gun ownership laws, December 2024. So this is what their surveyors said. Now keep in mind, this is a small survey. It's 564 respondents. So the survey asked several questions to gauge pro-gun patriots' opinions on mandatory gun ownership laws, potential impacts, and related safety measures. With hundreds of responses collected, 564, the results shed light on the prevailing attitudes towards gun ownership and firearm safety through education. Detailed analysis of the survey results. Question 1. Do mandatory gun ownership laws reduce crime? And over 80% of respondents said yes, 85.11 to be precise. I'll put that up right here. Question 2. Would you support a similar gun ownership law in your own community? And out of 563 respondents, 15% said no, 65% said yes. All right, question 3. Primary concerns with mandatory gun laws. There are concerns. Now, personally, I think everyone should absolutely seek training, safety, and most importantly, education. You've got to educate yourself, especially if you're going to tote a firearm. You need to understand that firearm. You need to know what's going on with it. You need to be able to clear a jam. You need to be able to break it down and clean it correctly. Knowledge, you've got to have knowledge. These are dangerous tools, just like any other tool in the trade or any other trades. It's not very safe to be underneath a car when it's on a rack, but the safety devices do make it safer. They help, but that's a chance every mechanic takes when they get underneath a car. Is this car going to fall on me or not? You weigh those options out. I think it's important that people have the choice. You shouldn't be mandated. If someone's not comfortable with a gun, that making them do something that they don't want to do, that's going to make them unsafe. That's just the way it is. So, although I think it's super important, I don't think it should be mandated. Although, I will say this, I do think firearms education in schools should absolutely be part of the curriculum. That should be mandated as a class for all students. And at one point in time in history, in American history, that was the case. We need to go back to our roots. So, anyway, I digress. Back to the question. What is your primary concern about mandatory gun ownership laws? Enforcement issues, infringement on personal freedoms, potential for accidents and misuse, yes, and have no concerns. So, out of 564 people, 11% have enforcement issues, 31.9% have infringement on personal freedoms issues, and 20% have the potential for accidents or misuse, and 36% have no concerns. So, and here's some of the concerns. Okay. Any law that mandates forced participation risks clashing with constitutional values that champion individual liberty. You don't say. Though intended to enhance community safety, these laws can paradoxically undermine the freedoms that aim to protect by forcing individuals into compliance. You cannot force Americans into compliance. Some people will comply nilly-willy with the government no matter what, because they actually think the government's here to help them and protect them. You have a very rude awakening coming, folks. If you're on that end of the spectrum, you have a very rude awakening and you are not paying attention, and you obviously don't know history. How do you think America was founded? Yeah. Do some research. Okay, back to this. The tension between collective security and personal liberties raises ethical and practical questions about the balance of rights and responsibilities. Forced compliance can also lead to resistance among those who value their autonomy, potentially creating division and reducing overall community safety. This ongoing debate reflects broader societal challenges in balancing the need for security with the fundamental principles of freedom and personal choice. Question 4. Satisfaction with local gun laws. Are we really going to go there? How satisfied are you with the gun laws in your town? All right. 563 respondents. 10.4% extremely satisfied. 25.75% very satisfied. Somewhat satisfied is 31.08%. Not so satisfied is 14.21%. And not at all satisfied is 18%. Honestly, I thought that number would be much higher. That tells me that a lot of people are still asleep. At least a lot of the people in this survey. This is a very small survey compared to the amount of people we have in this country. So just bear that in mind. You know, I'm obviously, if you know me at all, you know I'm obviously not satisfied with any of the unconstitutional regulations. I'm not even going to call them laws, because they're legally, constitutionally, they're not laws. They completely contradict the law of the land, which is the U.S. Constitution, Bill of Rights. That Bill of Rights is our contract to the government. People have got to start realizing this. You do not need the government's permission to protect yourself. That's part of the whole scam these people have on us. Wake up, smell the coffee, people. Question 5. Community perception impacts. Do you think these laws positively or negatively affect the community's perception outside of the town? Positively, negatively, and no impact. So we've got 46.58% that view it positively, 18.37% that view it negatively, and 37.05% that say no impact. All right. Nearly half of the respondents felt that mandatory gun laws positively affect their community's perception, suggesting that these laws might enhance the image of a community as safer and more proactive in self-defense matters. 13% believed the law would reflect negatively in the town. Now, keep in mind, this is the town that's required all citizens to be armed. They don't enforce it, obviously, but it's highly, highly, highly recommended. And I think that's a good thing. Again, I'll say it, you shouldn't mandate it, but you should absolutely encourage it and even provide programs to help people get safe. Instead of providing programs to help invaders take over our land, how about we have programs to help our citizens defend and protect their families?
What a thought.
All right. Gun safety education. Question 6. Should there be more public education on gun safety in towns with mandatory gun ownership laws? Again, mandatory gun ownership laws, I'm not really down with that. You're still forcing some people that don't want to be involved in it. If you don't like guns, if you're scared of them, that's your prerogative. That's okay. But I'm not going to let you or someone else tell me that I cannot protect myself. Not going to happen. So anyway, the answer to this question was 86% of people say yes. Education on gun safety is important. 4.8% said no. And just about 10%, 9.98%, said they're not sure. Okay. And it says here lies the most compelling result. 85.20% of participants agree that there should be more public education on gun safety. I agree. 100%. There should absolutely be plentiful education on gun safety. The survey results reveals a significant consensus among participants on the importance of gun safety education, with an impressive 85.2% advocating for increased public education on gun safety in towns with mandatory gun ownership laws. That's the part I don't like. This finding is particularly notable as it surpasses the already strong support for the laws themselves, emphasizing a broader community commitment to safety and responsible gun ownership. What this means: community engagement and responsibility. The overwhelming support for enhanced gun safety education underscores the community's proactive stance towards responsible gun ownership. While the community may favor laws that promote gun ownership for safety and self-defense, it also recognizes the necessity of proper training and knowledge to prevent accidents and misuse. Yes, I agree. Preventative measures. By advocating for mandatory gun safety education, the community is taking a preventative approach to potential issues that could arise from increased gun ownership. This suggests a deep understanding that with rights come responsibilities, and that ensuring all gun owners are educated about safe handling is crucial to the success of any policy promoting widespread gun access. Widespread gun access. Let's just take a quick history lesson here. Widespread gun access. The gun industry was absolutely decentralized when our country was founded. Every single citizen You know, there were a few blacksmiths out there. There were people that ran their little small businesses. They built guns, but many people built their own guns before America was ever even America. Don't forget that. America would not exist without brave men and guns. Okay. Positives of emphasizing gun safety education. Reduces accidents and misuse. Yes, proper education can significantly decrease chances of gun-related accidents or misuse, as informed owners are more likely to handle firearms safely. Yeah, absolutely. Enhances community safety. Well-informed gun owners not only protect themselves, but also contribute to the overall safety and security of their community. This is also a fact. Supports legal compliance. Education helps ensure that gun owners are aware of and comply with local and national firearms laws and regulations. Do not take this as legal advice, but as a red-blooded American citizen, if a quote-unquote law is unconstitutional, you do not have the duty to follow it. You have the duty and the obligation to teach the corrupt government what our protections really are. I digress. All right. And then the next one, builds public confidence. As more individuals understand proper gun usage, it can lead to greater public trust in the concept of widespread gun ownership as a safety measure. Just remember, an armed society is a polite society. You know, if the bad guys are unsure who's armed and who's not armed, because they know everybody's probably armed, that opportunity dwindles. Maybe they'll think twice about what they're about to do. Negatives of mandatory gun safety education. Implementation costs. Establishing and maintaining comprehensive gun safety programs can be costly for communities, especially smaller towns. Yeah, tell that to all of the parents, grandparents, children, uncles, aunts. Why? That's more costly than just handing over billions upon billions upon billions to countries that hate us and would just as soon kill us, or letting millions upon millions upon millions of illegal aliens to our borders, knowing full well that they're here to take us over. Remember that when they say it's too costly. Next, potential for government overreach. That's always a factor. Doesn't matter what it is. Mandatory education programs could be seen as an extension of government control over individual freedoms, similar to concerns about mandatory ownership laws. That makes perfect sense. I mean, think about it. You got some of these commie states, you know, they make you beg for permission to get a card just so you can go buy a tool that could potentially save or take a life. Do you have to have a government permission slip to buy a car? Because that's a 2-ton freaking missile right there, as we just saw in the French Quarter. Lord be with those families. I know someone personally who lost their son to this tragedy. No father, no mother should ever have to bury their child. My prayers are with them. Next, Mixed effectiveness. Like any educational program, gun safety training's effectiveness can vary depending on how it's implemented and the receptiveness of the participants. Overall, the strong support for mandatory gun safety education reflects a community that values both rights and responsibilities, seeing education as key to maximizing the benefits of gun ownership while minimizing the risks. The balance suggests a nuanced understanding of gun rights, proposing that the true safeguard of such policies lies not merely in the enactment, but in their informed and responsible implementation. Question 7. Desired changes in national gun laws. And here's in quotes. If you could change one thing about national gun laws, what would it be? And here are some of the great responses. Repeal the NFA to restore true gun freedom. Amen. I agree with that. The NFA is unconstitutional. The GCA is unconstitutional. The NICS system is unconstitutional. That's all a hindrance for people to be able to protect themselves. And that's a God-given right. You corrupt government swamp creatures don't give us our rights. Hence, you can't take them away. The next one, national concealed carry should be recognized in all states without exception. There should be nothing called concealed carry even exists. You should be able to carry your firearm in any manner you choose as long as it's safe. That's the problem. That is another hurdle and another government permission slip. So you can exercise your God-given rights. What's wrong with that picture there? Here's another one. Eliminate the NICS. It's a barrier to our constitutional rights. Yep, I just said that, and I agree wholeheartedly. I remove all restrictions on ownership of any small arms, including fully automatic weapons, by any free person, regardless of past criminal actions. If you're safe enough to be in society, you should have the right to self-defense, as prescribed by the Founding Fathers. Bingo. A lot of you won't like that response, but if you're too dangerous to be on the streets, you should be in prison. You should be somewhere in a cage. If you're an animal, if you really value life that little, yeah, you need to be in a cage. I agree with that 100%. If you're safe enough to walk out on the streets, you should be safe enough to defend yourself. You have that right. As an American citizen, you have that right, period. All right, the next one. Enhanced freedoms across the board. Stop infringing on our rights. There should be no gun laws. Our rights are clear in the Constitution. Facts. Exactly right. Question 8. Thoughts on mandatory gun ownership laws. Please share any additional thoughts or concerns you have about mandatory gun ownership laws. All right. Firearms training should be part of every school curriculum. I agree. An armed society is a polite society. It's essential for true safety. I agree. The government should not mandate ownership, but rather encourage voluntary training and responsible ownership. I agree. I don't think those who object to owning guns on moral grounds should be forced to comply. The freedom is having a choice. I agree. We need less government, not more. Personal choice must prevail. I agree. In-school weapon safety training would benefit everyone, not just gun owners. I agree with that too. Here's one. I love guns, but I don't think everyone is cut out to own one. Not everyone will take the time to become both familiar and proficient with a firearm. Those people shouldn't have one. If they choose not to have one, they shouldn't. That's on them. That's their choice. But For you or anybody else to decide what I can and can't have, it's not your business. It's my business how I protect my family. Just like it's your business how you protect yours. Here's a title, Surprising Insights. The survey results reflect an America that values its constitutional rights highly, but also recognizes the need for responsible gun ownership. Strong support for mandatory gun safety courses, even more than for gun ownership laws themselves, underscores a proactive stance towards ensuring that gun rights are paired with adequate education and safety measures. This dual emphasis on rights and responsibilities may come as a surprise, but is indicative of a mature dialogue with the gun rights community about the balance between freedom and safety. This survey not only highlights the values of the AmmoLand news community, but also points to a broader implication that effective gun legislation and community safety might best be achieved not through mandates of firearm ownership, but through mandates of education and training that empower citizens responsibly and knowledgeably. I agree completely. So that covers the survey article. What do you guys think about this? I would love to hear some of your thoughts. What do you think we should do? Should we mandate gun laws, pro-gun laws, and force people into compliance? I don't think so, personally. That is going to cause more problems. Or should we just mandate the education to the next generation? I'm down with that. I think it should absolutely be part of every school curriculum in this country. America was founded on the principles of ordered liberty. And as a constitutional republic, that's how we function. So don't pay attention to all these swamp rats who keep calling America a democracy. We are not a democracy, people. Please understand that. American democracy is not democracy. Learn the difference. And I think it's very important that everybody educate themselves on American civics. So, all right, guys, that's it. What'd y'all think? Go over 504tactical.com/store and check out the merch. Please help support us by either buying something from the store or shopping with our code on our partner's website. You can save 15% getting kitted up with Condor Outdoor. So check them out. Give us a thumbs up. Y'all, please subscribe. Hook us up. We love y'all. God bless. See you on the next one.